Aloha, and welcome to Betty's Real Estate Corner, brought to you by Coldwell Banker, Sakamoto Properties, Roy and Betty Sakamoto. Today here in the studio, we have Ethan Kaleiopu back with us. And I've told the story of Ethan a few times, so I'll try to keep it a little bit brief. But he graduated from the Honolulu High School in
2017.
Okay, 2017, and was headed off to college when he decided, he was interning at our office, and Roy Sakamoto they were running the streets together, learning real estate for him, and he was helping Roy with everything that he needed. So it was a really great relationship, and then Ethan decided he's going into real estate. Long story short, we felt when he was starting, he should really go with a bigger company like Coldwell Banker that had a lot of training, and he eventually did that. And then a couple of years passed, and we stole him back with us. Now, at that point, we had become Coldwell Banker, and he had moved to Honolulu and left Coldwell Banker. So we at Coldwell Banker, Sakamoto, we have now Ethan Kaleiopu, who's amazing. And he's become an extremely successful realtor, both in Honolulu and Maui, and has done transactions in every price range. One of the things I wanted to talk about with him today, and it's not the primary thing that he does, but he did something that I think has been an amazing service for the people that know him, and it's helped them over the period of years that he's been selling real estate to go from renting and having nothing to working a plan that would get them on a path of home ownership. And let's see if I can toss this on Ethan and see if he can give you a little bit about what that journey takes.
Yeah, for sure. So right when I got my real estate license, I was kind of trying to figure out how to kind of help all categories in the real estate purchasing world, I would say. So I went ahead and created KCG, also known as Kaleiopu Consulting Group, which is a full-service consulting company, financial consulting company, where we assist eager home buyers who want to purchase a property here in Maui but don't know exactly how to do it, where to start, or even have someone to hold their hand and do it. So what we did was we created a program for them, and it has been truly one of the best things, I think, that's helped our business and helped our community to really educate the local community on the resources that they have and the potential that they have within themselves. So kind of the things that we do is, when we meet a new client who may share with us.
So let me ask a question so that will kind of make this a little bit simpler for people. So let's say somebody might call Ethan thinking they want to buy a property now, but pretty quickly they discover that that's not going to happen. They don't have their ducks in a row. Their credit is not number one. So they really need a process to do. And if Ethan would identify that, and in some cases somebody might call him because they've heard that he does this, and they know they're not ready to buy right now, but he can direct them to the company that he formed.
Most definitely. So we have a few coaches. My main coach right now is Stacia Pang, and she is a licensed financial advisor as well as a financial coach. So her and I would meet together with the client, and we'd pretty much collect as much information as we can of what their goals are in real estate and in their financial status as well, and create a game plan. From lowering their debt to income ratio, getting them in alignment to apply for a mortgage. Because there's so many things that go in between that not many people understand. They just think I need good credit and good income, but there's so many things you can implement, like proper banking procedures and stuff, to really put their best foot forward when getting into the market to purchase something.
Absolutely. And what you just said, proper banking procedures, there's a lot that would go just with that by itself. Probably be good to establish a bank, actually walk in, meet the branch manager, et cetera.
Sure.
Become known
for sure
in the community.
And you definitely want to create that relationship with whatever financial institution you're with, and because down the road it would be a great asset to you if you're, looking to buy more properties down the road, and, eventually they're going to offer you more offerings, for a mortgage or credit lines and so forth. So that's also really important. We encourage and we, help our clients find the right place for them.
Mm-hmm. And then I also think coming up, hopefully, because everybody is so frightened right now that they'll never buy a place. I still think that we will see enough properties that come on the market that will be generated for first-time home buyers. and for obviously local residents. When they call them, instead of first-time home buyer now, it's a I can't think of the name. The programs that they're talking about today.
Affordable housing? Or?
Well, it's kind of affordable housing, but workforce housing.
Workforce housing.
And that really means a lot to the whole community because for everything that we're all doing, anyone that's working at the banks or the escrow companies, et cetera, they all need a place to live. And it's becoming, right now, a nightmare. So people do have to step up. And I think, Ethan, I guess the reason I wanted to start this is because I don't think anybody really does this in a way that you established it.
Oh, thank you. I mean, the biggest thing really is, there's many people out there who don't even know their potential or that what they could even qualify for, or, it kind of just passes them. So being able to sit with them and really show them on paper what they can do, it's always eye-opening to them. And sometimes it's much easier than they really think it may be.
You're right. I think one of the things that you're kind of saying now is that you may go and take some time talking to Ethan and discover that you're in a way better position than you thought you were, because there are good programs available, for working people. You're in a certain price range, which again is fine. There's state programs, county programs. Sure. And good lending.
A really good example. We met a potential client. She was referred to us just about a month ago. So I met with her in our office. We sat down. The husband now is 26 and she's 24, born and raised here on Maui. And they said, that they're looking to purchase here. They wanted to kind of create a game plan for the next year to maybe 2 years, 3 years. And they thought it was really far out. And after kind of looking everything over, I kind of realized, I think that you might be in a better position than you really think you are. And they have a child and a newborn coming. And so I said, let me pair you with one of our amazing mortgage brokers and let's get you kind of analyzed on your finances and so forth, what your goals are. So we did. We did that within the first 2 days after we met. By day 7, the end of that week, they were pre-approved for over $800,000, more than they could ever imagine. And it was just implementing proper banking procedures and really showing them on paper what they could do. And of course, there were some things, financially they could improve on, and they were totally open-minded. But when they seen that, even more, it was a kick in their butt to really work towards it. And now we're showing property, and they possibly could be going on the contract later today.
Fabulous. Yeah. That's so great.
And they had, no idea that they were even qualified or able to do that. But they've been employed, working hard since they were in high school, kept the same employment.
Lahaina
Luna.
Oh, that's so great.
So really good stuff coming.
Yeah, that's so super. Yeah, but I think for anybody that's got that in mind, check in with us. Ethan, what's your phone number?
808-269-8033.
Thank you. But I think, you can call Ethan. You can call Roy or I if it's easier to track us down. But Ethan is in our office. He's not necessarily there all day, every day. None of us are, because we're all showing property or out doing all the other things that we do as realtors. So we're all kind of busy, but we're not too busy to get together with you and help. And I think Ethan's plan is spectacular. And the ability to be a part of that will really make a big difference in your life.
Thank you.
There's so many other things going on right now. Everybody knows and is complaining about the prices going up, et cetera. But one of the things I think, and it's part of, again, our direction today, is that interest rates are still low enough, and they've definitely gone up a little, but you are at a place that you could buy more than you think you could buy, and your payment is going to be excellent. And it'll be a payment, and if you're here and you're a lifer, as I say, call it now, and you want to stay on Maui, you're never going to be sorry. If you can afford the payment and you're going to be here for the rest of your life and it takes you 30 years to pay it off, you can just take care of your home. Eventually, if life throws you some good things, you may end up upgrading, but you'll always have your home. And without that, I think we know people right now that are moving all the time, and it's so hard for them to even find anything that they can afford. So it's got to be home ownership. And then get someone like Ethan that will pay attention and watch the new programs coming out that are going to be for affordable housing and or workforce housing. Yeah, I think it really does make a big difference. I think we have Dr. Eston calling in to give us a little quick update on what's going on today with medicine and in particular with the virus, et cetera. So I think, are we on there, Doc Norm?
We are. Aloha.
Aloha.
Hi, Roy.
Ethan's here today.
How's it going, Doc?
Ethan
It's going
Kaleiopu.
great. All good news out here. The virus is receding into the background. It's not disappearing, but our numbers are great compared to 3 or 4 weeks ago when we were all sick. We have fewer people getting sick. We have fewer people being positive. With fewer people going into the hospital, and of those going into the hospital, fewer are going into intensive care or on the ventilators. To give you a couple of numbers, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, when we were testing, we had 40 or 50% people positive for the Omicron variant, and now we're running about 1%. So
Wow.
A dramatic change. If you look at the previous spike, like the Delta spike, and if you think of that as shaped like, let's say, the hump of a camel, this particular spike with Omicron is shaped like an ice pick. So it went up real quickly. It didn't exist before December. It went up December and January. Now, early February, it's going away. And by the end of this month, there'll be very few of the Omicron variant. So that's all good news.
Some good news.
That's perfect. That's everything that we all have been hoping for. So you're going to have a little more time on your hands, Dr. Norm, we hope.
Well, it's very good. We're still testing. We're still screening. There's fewer people sick, which is good. We're opening up the island just like the rest of the world is opening up to travel, loosening the restrictions. Canadians still have to test before they go into the country, probably for the next couple of months. Other countries less so. What we wind up doing here in Hawaii, who knows? Right now, for people to come in, they just have to be vaccinated with 2 doses. They don't have to have a booster to get into the state, even though having a booster really helps protect you, especially if you're older. So it's getting better. We're going to see mask mandates disappearing in public areas. And likewise, we're going to see public events, high school football, MIL, school football, sporting events like that, allow people to come in big crowds. So that's good. It's still prudent to be wearing a mask or be careful indoors when you're with a lot of people, especially a lot of people you don't know.
Perfect. Well, I think that answers a lot of our questions for today, Dr. Norm. Norm is Doctors on Call, has several offices from Wailea basically out to Kapalua, and has been really an amazing person in the medical community for 40 plus years. So thank you for everything you've done and for coming on the radio and giving everybody some information. It's been perfect.
Well, I think we've been very fortunate here in Maui and in Hawaii in general. We have fewer people. We live outside. We eat outside. We're dispersed. We don't crowd into busy elevators or public transportation. So we're very fortunate from that point of view. But again, we all have to be vigilant. Okay, so this is not going to go away. There's only been one virus in the history of the world that's been eradicated. In other words, totally gone, and that's smallpox. This Omicron and the coronavirus, the family of viruses, is going to be with us forever. It'll be part of the background every year. It's going to come and go, especially during the flu season. And it'll be one of the bad cold viruses, and occasionally there'll be people who get real sick. The way to protect you yourself from this is, again, vaccination. And I'm sure most of your listeners have had 2, as well as the booster. And if not, please go and get the booster. And then be careful when people are sick. Mask in public places. If there's a lot of people who are on transportation, like airplanes and buses and ships, etc. But it's always going to be with us. And the question I'm asked is, there going to be another booster? Yes, there will be another booster. Not right away. Nobody needs a 4th booster unless you have some underlying illness that makes you have a hard time fighting off infections. Being immunocompromised is the medical term. Those people need a 4th booster. But otherwise, we'll all get a tiny booster when we get the flu shot in the fall. It'll be a combination vaccine, and we hardly recommend that everybody get that to stay healthy next year.
Perfect. Well, thank you again for calling in. I think we're going to go ahead and try to sell some real estate to somebody. What about you? You must need a second home here.
I'll think about it.
No, you've got the perfect place already. He is the best.
Right. Let me see. Very good.
Best place in the world.
Both. Aloha out there.
Aloha.
Thank you.
We'll see you real soon.
See you soon.
Aloha. You know, one of the things that I was thinking about, and I kind of was looking at something here, that, you know, we've all been kind of down a little bit. I mean, I think this has brought us all into the doldrums. And I think it really is time that we congratulate ourselves about how fortunate we all are and that we've come through this. And I feel like Maui came through it as a village. People really worked hard to be a village, to help one another. I think we watched a lot. I mean, we would pick up a lot of takeout food. Now, we would feel like that was okay because we were helping the community. It wasn't that I didn't want to cook. It was just we were trying to be a part of it. But in a way, I feel like we were. And I think a lot of people did stuff like that. They did a better job of buying from Maui.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to admit, I'm not the one who's always good about that. But I'm trying harder because I think we should all do stuff like that right now. Remember that Amazon is fun and it's easy, but again, we're going to someday not have the people here with the goods that we need on a day-to-day basis. But that's just one of my little things.
That's good. Keeping local businesses in business.
Yeah, it really works. What can you think of any particular listings right now that you might want to give a little shout out for someone looking right now?
Oh, I'm trying to think.
Okay, I've got one. Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. At the Ironwoods at Kapalua.
That's beautiful.
We have a listing there at 6.3. Now I'm drawing a blank on the exact price, but that's okay. We can figure it out with you. It's spectacular. It has an ocean view from everywhere. It obviously doesn't. Most of us are never going to afford a property like that. But somebody's listening that realizes they've been looking for it. They've been trading up over the years. And if you're thinking that, come on by. It's owner-occupied. They're really great helping us to get in to show it because we have had a lot of interest. But again, it's at the Ironwoods, and we would love to show it to you. 3 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, and the view, unbelievable.
It's beautiful.
Unbelievable. So what else is there? What about right in Lahaina? Is there anything in particular that is, everything is sold?
Everything is sold.
Well, I mean, it is scary. When we run certain things right now,
Yeah.
we're finding that nothing comes up. You know, we're with the Board of Realtors. If you look at the total number of homes for sale on Maui, I don't think it's more than 30.
We listed a 3-bed, 2.5 bath townhome in Kamalani and Kihei, and that went under contract within 24 hours.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's amazing right now what's happening. But I think, again, it's time to step up and think about it. Even if it turns out, you know, everybody's asking most of us, you know, what do we think is going to happen? Is the market going to continue like this? Are we going to see a drop? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? I wish we knew, but none of us know. And to be able to predict that would be magic, if nothing else.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking home ownership, and with the stuff that we were saying a little while ago about qualifying, et cetera, it's a great time to talk to one of us. Talk to Ethan, talk to my husband Roy, myself, and give us the opportunity to fill you in on what it could take. And if nothing else, if the market does come down and that's what you wait for, then so be it. You'll find a really great deal, but you'll be ready to do it. If the market goes up, again, the same thing. You're going to find a way that you'll be able to step into the market because you'll have really learned so much about what it takes for home ownership, and you're going to learn that you don't want to be a renter forever. And those of us that want to stay in Maui for the rest of our lives, and I've been here over 40 years. I hate to say the exact number, but it is a long time. And Roy, born and raised here, we don't ever want to leave Maui. There's nowhere that I want to go. So we're going to stay homeowners, whatever it takes. And we'd like all of you to be able to do the same. You think? What else can we think of for places to buy right now? What about the place in Napili? It keeps not opening. It's workforce housing right across from the Napili Market going up.
Maui Prep.
Yeah, right.
That one.
Do you know anything that we don't know?
haven't been updated on that one for a
Okay.
while.
No, we haven't either.
We'll bring
And-
the update next time.
Okay, let's be ready for that one because there's got to be somebody with the information. They keep going in there and like painting or doing something, which at one point I kind of looked and thought it was trying to just keep the building permit active, but they don't seem to finish.
Yeah.
But it's looking better all the time.
it
It's
is.
not looking really bad. Great location, really so close to Kapalua, close to Lahaina.
Supermarket's right there.
Supermarket is right there. Everything.
Yeah.
Doctors on call, not that far away. We've kind of got everything in the neighborhood. Kapalua. I mean, there are a few places for sale. The same thing, wouldn't you say? Going under contract pretty quick.
Oh, really quickly.
Yeah, it's been amazing. We're coming down actually right now to the 4-minute warning. So we better come up with something. Is there anything that you can think of, any property that you would say to start looking at? What did you just sell? What about another one of those?
We listed we just got at Yale Parkside, that one other contract
Yes.
as well. That one is that one's awesome. It's another Lahaina Luna graduate.
Is it? Oh,
Yep,
super.
So super excited for her, and I think we may possibly having another Yale Parkside unit coming up. It's a 2-bed. That one is a 2-bed, 1.5 bath. And we're looking to list probably within the next 30 to 40 days. Just getting it prepared.
So pay attention to those. And again, Parkside, great place because you're in the middle of everything.
Yep.
You can get to Lahaina if you're working in Lahaina. You can get all around.
And it's the great property for first-time home buyers. I mean, you have the USDA option and FHA, so great loan programs to use in there with little to low money down as well. Great starter home.
That is really great. We had some people years ago that bought one for their daughter who was going to college here.
Yeah, and it's right there. It's-
She graduated here. She was in the culinary school, and she's had a great career.
It's a good stepping stone for first-time
a
home
lot
buyers.
of good things here. So we're running down. We're right now maybe 2-minute warning. So think about anything. Think about one another. I think that we keep trying to come up with different things, but I think let's remember that we are a community. And every time we help one another with the littlest thing, if you see, it goes a long way. Someone that just needs a tiny bit of help, and sometimes that's just a smile. You see someone struggling; they don't want your help necessarily, but if you give them a great smile, their day's been made. So back to Danny Couch almost. Yeah, he's my favorite Hawaiian entertainer. He's come out to Maui a couple of times for Halimakua and did our luau.
Oh, wow.
So really, really exciting. He's such a nice man. He and he's one of the greatest of all time, in my mind, the greatest of all time Hawaiian entertainers. There's so many. There's just so many of them.
Start naming names.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're back here with I Love Hawaii, and we love Hawaii. Love our Danny Couch. Love our Lahaina Luna High School.
Yes.
And looking forward to being back at the sports arena next year. Aloha.
Aloha.
I feel happy